welcome to my channel, Duckpotatoe's World. My name is Katie, Mrs. Duckpotato, and you have found my monthly video vlog, Created to Create. And I am so excited to have you here. If you are a first-time viewer, thank you so much for giving me a chance. If this is a returning view for you, thank you so much for coming back. I can be found on Instagram and Ravelry as Mrs. Duckpotato, and on YouTube and Goodreads as Katie Brohard. So if you are looking for me on social media, that's where I am. I have had a very busy month last month, and I'm excited to share everything I've been up to with you guys today. So let's see, to start off with, I have been visiting two of my sisters. I have three sisters, and I managed to get to San Antonio and to visit one of my sisters and her son for a few days, and then I spent a whole week with one of my other sisters and her two kids, and have been driving all over Texas. So I have a lot done, but it's all been kind of small, quick projects that I could take with me and get done quickly. A lot of my larger, long-term projects are maybe a little neglected, but we'll get into that in a minute. So first off, what I am wearing, you will notice this was something that you have never seen or heard of before, and that is because I decided to knit it crochet it about a week ago. But this is the Crochet Happy Days bucket hat, and I literally bought this yarn from Michael's the other day just because I wanted the pattern. But it was Karen Layer Cupcakes yarn. It was like a cake of yarn, and it came with the bucket hat pattern on the ball band. And I crocheted this. So this is the Color Story Cream. I really like it. One thing I don't like is the seam is really bulky. See that seam there? Which, I mean, it's going to be in the back, but I kind of like the wrong side better. I feel like the seam is not nearly so obvious, but the way they had you turn your work makes the brim not look right if you turn it wrong side out. So this is actually a trial because my sister Beth, who I was visiting in San Antonio, saw somebody wearing a bucket hat, and she was like, "Ooh, I would like one of those in blue." So when I saw this, I thought, well, I'll try it out and I'll make one for her. So this one is for me. This is my trial run, but I think I can modify it a little bit to make I think I can modify it so that I like it a little bit better. And I have ordered the same yarn in a blue gradient to make one for her. So yeah, so while I was in San Antonio, I had two of my four sons and my nephew and my sister, and we went to SeaWorld, and then my sister and my kids went to Aquatica a couple of days later. My nephew wasn't able to go with us to that one. But yeah, we had lots of fun, so that was good. And I actually just finished this hat a couple of days ago. I actually knit it at my other sister's house, but it's for my sister that lives in San Antonio. So that's it. I actually have quite a few finished objects from the last month. Almost all of them were squirrel projects. Things that I made on just randomly or was inspired to do randomly. So the first one I do not have in my possession at the moment, but I'll put in a picture of it. It is my Sweet Dreams Crocheted Dream Catcher that I made using unedible gumballs from our local candy store. So if you follow me on Instagram, or if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you have probably seen this already, but I had so much fun doing this. Our local candy shop has this giant gumball machine, and I'll put a picture of that up here too for you. And in all the years I've lived in Lindale, I don't know if they've ever dumped and replaced the gumballs before, but they did decide to do that this year. So they had two like horse watering troughs full of gumballs. And I guess they threw the first trough out, and then they hated to throw the second one out, and someone said you should have an art contest. So they decided to have an art contest, and it was so much fun. They gave away the gumballs. They said like 1,000 times they were unedible. I don't know what made them unedible exactly, because like 3 days before they decided to empty the gumball machine, I know some people who were buying them and chewing them. But these were supposedly, they kept saying inedible, things that, expired, I guess. But you could come and you could gather them up and take them with you, and then you would make an art project out of them, and you could post it on Facebook or Instagram and tag them. And they had a drawing and gave out some prizes. So I had my husband drill holes in the gumballs and I used them as beads, and I made this crocheted dream catcher. So that's what I did. Two of my sons also chose to make projects, and I'll put pictures of their projects up here too just for fun. My youngest son made a Megabot and took a picture of him, I guess, on top of all his defeated gumballs. He actually has gumballs in him, painted black, that are like the little round parts, and then he used construction paper cones to make all the little guy's limbs. And he painted little faces on them, but the gumballs didn't hold up really well with the paint. And then my older middle child also chose to participate, and he did pixel art, and he called his pixel art Chewy Fresh. And so all three of us entered in, and I think they had about 26 entries in the end. And they drew a prize just randomly, and none of us won the prize. And there was also a prize for most creative container, that you were supposed to bring in a creative container when you picked up your gumballs. Somehow I missed that, and I didn't do that. We just brought a paper sack. But there was a prize winner for that, and then they chose their favorite prize, and there was a winner for that. And we had some really unique creations. One woman made the Morton Salt logo out of gumballs, and a couple of people used resin molds and put the gumballs in resin to make stuff. One person even made a gumball machine lamp with resin that actually lit up. So there was all kinds of stuff. And then the reason I don't have it to show you, because I actually did keep mine. My youngest son's, his didn't hold up well, so he threw his away. And my older middle child's, he actually gave it to the candy store as soon as he was done making his. Well, I had kept mine because I wanted to show it to you. But a couple of weeks ago, they announced that anyone willing to donate their art to the candy company, they were going to hold an auction and auction off the art as a fundraiser for the library. So I went ahead and donated my Dreamcatcher to that auction. I don't know if the auction has happened because I've been out of town for the last couple of weeks. I need to find out if the art is still at the library and if I can go by and see it, or if it has already been displayed and auctioned off. So I literally just got back into town last night. So I really don't know what's been going on in my hometown. But that whole thing was so much fun. If you are local, check out the Lindale Candy Company. They are not my sponsors or anything, but they are a great, wonderful, fun local shop that we all love to visit and participate in. Oh, they did. One thing they did do was they did give a $5 is in candy bucks to everyone who participated. So that was fun because we all got to go to the candy shop and pick out something for $5. So that was fun. And then let's see, my next finished object that I also don't have to show you is my first floor rug that I made on my loom, Beatrix. And I don't have it to show you because the day that I finished it was a Friday, and I had brought it home and I put it in the laundry, and we had a dinner guest over to our home. And when I took it out of the dryer, and I was so proud of it, and I was showing off. This is what you get for showing off. And my dinner guest was very impressed with it, and he wanted to know if he could commission me to make one. And I said, well, I wouldn't mind making you one, but I can't make one exactly like this because the yarn that I used was yarn that I received on some antique shuttles. I have no idea what the yarn is. No idea where it came from. I don't know. I wrote down that there was 90 yards per shuttle, but I think that was really wrong. I think I might have meant like 19 yards per shuttle because the rug was much smaller than we were anticipating it being. It was a nice rug size, just not a, like we were thinking a hallway long rug, and it did not come out that long. Anyway, I told him, I'm so sorry, I could make you a rug, but it wouldn't be exactly like this. And my husband says, you can have that one. And so I gave the rug to my friend Matthew, which is fine. Everyone else is shocked. They're like, I would be so mad at my husband, but really it was fine. I didn't mind it. The whole project was with just random yarn that had come on my shuttles. It was a learning piece, and I learned a lot, which was the main goal of it. I don't mind at all giving it to Matthew. But I did like it, so I've decided I wanted to make another one. So I'll have to put a picture of that rug in here for you. It's just a plain weave weft-faced rug. I didn't have a pattern, but my friend Regina, who's teaching me to weave, she did sit down with me and help me figure out the math. The rug came out much shorter than we thought because I had, I think, much less yarn than I was thinking I had. I think I miscounted. But otherwise, the rug came out the way we pretty well expected. So that was a good trial run on that. And then my third finished object I also don't have a picture of. I recently discovered a crochet designer by the name of Selena Baca, and I really have liked some of her crochet patterns. And so I joined her Facebook group, and then she had a call for testers to make this market bag, and I happened to have the time and the materials called for, so I volunteered to test, and I tested this pattern for her and finished it very quickly and had a lot of fun doing that. So highly recommend her patterns. They are very well thought out, very well written. I enjoyed both the crocheting of the bag and the pattern and the way it was structured, as well as the testing process. She used a different process than I've done with other people before, but I really liked it. So I will have to put a picture of that bag, because while I was visiting my sister who lives in West Texas, I gave her that bag. I actually crocheted two. I used Hobby Lobby's I Love This Cotton in Rosie and Harvest, and I did the first bag with Harvest as the main and Rosie as the contrast, and then I did the second bag the opposite way. And my sister, I asked her which one she wanted, and she wanted the one with Harvest and a Rosie as the contrast. So I don't have that bag, but I did make a second one, and I do have that one to show you. So I can show you the second version of the same bag that I made, and that's right here. So it's like a market bag, I guess, like a produce bag. It stretches out really good. You can fill stuff up with it. I like it a lot. Of course, as a tester, I was following the instructions exactly as written. I think if I were to do this again, though, I would make longer handles. The handles are a little short for me. But yeah, I made two of these. Gave one to my sister, kept one for myself. And that is the, did I say what it is called? The Market Bloom. Nope, let me look at my notes. Bloom Market Tote by Selena Baca. Then I made another crochet project. I told you, I've been all into the crochet this month because I finally kind of got the hang of it, and it's fast and fun. And those are two things I like in a project, fast and fun. So I was working on an egg basket, because I have a couple of friends with eggs, and sometimes I go and gather the eggs while they're out of town, and I usually just have to grab like a Walmart sack or something. And I thought it would be fun to have an egg basket, so I crocheted one. And I just realized I didn't bring it over here, so give me 2 seconds to run and get it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. But this is my egg crate that I crocheted. So the idea was I wanted it to fit an 18 count egg styrofoam thing. I tore the top off because the idea is you set this down inside the basket, and as you pick up the eggs from the nest, you can set them in their own little slot and they won't roll around and break. Because what was happening was, in the plastic Walmart bag, the eggs would bump each other or bump me or bump something, and I would break one. And if you guys are egg eaters, you know that lately eggs have been like worth their weight in gold. So y'all, I'm gonna take my hat off because my head's a little hot in the house. Whew, okay. Sorry, I was hoping I could wear it the whole video, but I will wear it. I'll just probably wear it outside. Anyway, yeah, so I was kind of inspired by Nitty Natty's float totes. So I kind of loosely based it off of her pattern, but I did design it mostly myself. I used just random scraps of cotton yarn that I had just lying around. I don't remember what the total number of grams I used, but I did hold it double like you do in a float tote. And yeah, just finished it up. I don't even know. Some of this I know was sugar and cream. Some of it was I Love This Cotton. Some of it I have no idea what it was. It didn't have a ball band, and it's been in my stash for a million years. But I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I plan to make a couple more of these for my friends who have chickens. So that was fun. It's just, I just called it my 18 count egg basket. Not very original. And then, oh, this is another finished object I have, and I actually do have it to show you. But for those of you who have been following my channel, you know that my friend Kathleen Fuller and I have started a leisurely choose your own adventure style crochet along based on some book covers of books that she's written. Well, one of the books that she wrote just released. It's called The Marriage Pact. And a lot of her books, not all of them, but a handful of them, have knitting or crochet patterns that go with them. And this one had a bookmark pattern that went with it. So, of course, I had to crochet the Marriage Pact butterfly bookmark. And that's this right here. So the pattern actually had you adding beads, and that was the end. But I decided to end mine with a tassel after my bead. But again, another super easy, super fun crochet project. It turned out super cute. And this one, I'm actually going to make several of these, but this one is going to go live with my mom's best friend in the Dallas area because she saw this on Facebook, and she said her Bible needed one. So I'm going to mail this one off to Denise sometime this week. But just a tiny little thing. I don't think it took me 20 minutes to crochet. It was super fun. I swear it took longer to make the tassel and put the bead on than it did to crochet the butterfly. So there's that. And then, again, if you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube posts, you'll have seen these already. But I am going to show my super cute read and crochet along granny squares because I've already finished all 6 of them. I did these while my niece was napping while I was with my sister last week, and her nap time was the perfect amount of time for me to get about 2 of these done. So I had them done in about 3 days. And yeah, oh, and my bag. This is my Lindale Candy Company bag. This is what I used my candy bucks to buy. It was more than $5, but I used it to give me a discount and I actually really like this bag. It's kind of random, but yeah. So here are my crocheted granny squares from the Read and Crochet Along. If you are interested in joining the Read and Crochet Along, the kickoff video is on my channel, and I will put a card in for it. I'll have the link in the description box down below. You can join anytime. You do as much or as little as you want. Participate however you want. It's just going to be a very, very laid back kind of thing. But here are the first granny squares. So this one was the first one I did, and I do not remember off the top of my head which books, which of these is from. So if you want to find that out, then you'll need to go and check the kickoff video and check Kathleen Fuller's YouTube channel where she has it all specified, because off the top of my head right this second, I can't remember. I think the first one I showed you was the Marriage Pact. Oh, I'm showing you the wrong side. Let me show you the right side. There you go. These are the first granny squares I've ever made. So I thought they came out pretty good. This one was the hardest and probably used up the most yarn, but it was lots of fun. And I have most of the same colors that Kathleen has in her tutorial videos and in her patterns. Some of my colors are different. It's just Red Heart yarn. I bought the Mega Craft kit, which is a whole bunch of 50-gram balls of different colors. I can't remember now how many colors there were, but there were a lot. And I used, if I had the same color that she used, I used it. If I didn't, I used something else that kind of went along with whichever book cover it was. So I have part 1 all done in terms of crochet. The Read and Crochet Along also includes it's a read along and a crochet along. So I've done all of the part 1 crochet, that's done. The read along part, there are 6 book covers that each one of these granny squares is inspired by. And we're not really planning to read all 6 books. We do have about 2 months in between parts. So part 1 was in June, part 2 will happen in August. So you've got plenty of time. But we have one main book that we're going to focus on as the read along, and that one is The Marriage Pact. And I just finished reading it actually, but I'll probably read it again a little closer to August. But I am going to go ahead and just read. I've read all 6 of these books, but I'm going to go ahead and reread them just because I enjoyed them and I want to. You don't have to do that if you want to do the Read and Crochet Along. You can just read the one book that we're focusing on, or you can not read any and just do the crochet, or you can not do the crochet and just read, or you can just crochet one, or whatever. There's not really any rules. It's just for fun. So I think I'm going to try to crochet all 6 granny squares from every part, and I'm going to make a personal goal to read all 6 books. And if I don't make it, that's fine. But if I do, yay. So I am reading currently An Amish Summer, which is one of, let's see, that one was an Amish quilt. I think this one is the Amish Summer book. I'm not 100% sure, so if I'm telling you wrong, I'm sorry. But like I said, check out the kickoff video for more information about the Read and Crochet Along. I have a whole playlist called Fiction and Fiber Arts where I am putting episodes related to that project for you guys to check out. And yeah, so that is all of my finished objects. In terms of works in progress or unfinished objects, I have kind of one thing that's sort of a project I can show you. It's also kind of it's also an acquisition. So, but I bought this yarn at Michael's when I was at Michael's the other day. And what I am doing is I am making the yarn into I-cord with my I-cording machine. And I have finished half of a skein. Each of these skeins was a little over 200 grams. I think it was like 126 grams or something like that. So this is 113 grams all done up as I-cord. This is the second half of that skein. I bought 3 skeins of it, and I was going to use this to make my my new rug that I'm going to make. So let me find one of these balls that still has the ball band on it. This is Karen Macchiato Cakes, and the colorway is called something with a B. Let's see if I wrote it down. Boundless. It's the colorway. So yeah, I bought 3 of these big old things. And this is an unfinished object because I am making thinner yarn into fatter yarn. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to use it to make a rug. That's the plan. And I have worked on that. In fact, I actually have to put in a little video of my niece and nephew helping me make the I-cord. When I was at my sister's, we had, like I said, we had so much fun. They are so cute. So if I have some usable footage, because they were kind of running around, I'll try to put in some video of us making the I-cord together. To the blanket of knowledge. Now, let's see. I do have some progress on that, so yay. I know a lot of folks have been experiencing different kinds of delays. I think Tracie at Hot Springs Fiber Company has had some delays due to some illness and some shipping issues and different things. So if you have a problem with your subscription, if you have not gotten something you ordered or whatever, please reach out to the shop. I will put the Blanket of Knowledge email. She's got an email just specifically for Blanket of Knowledge in the description box down below for you. I know she wants to fix anything that has gone amiss for anybody. But yeah, I have definitely continued to work on that. Let me see if I can get to it. And I have designed the July pattern, and that's what I'm going to show you first, and put it in my Scarf of Knowledge, which I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with exactly, but here it is. This is the July pattern. It is a pull up a loop style pattern. It makes these fun little V's, kind of look like birds to me, or hearts maybe. Very fun, very easy. And then I have a half brioche stitch, half flat single color brioche stitch as the bonus stitch for July. So that's what's coming up. This down here is the June. I think I showed you that last month. So that is my Scarf of Knowledge. And that colorway is a campfire colorway called All Ablaze. That's what I used, the leftovers for that. And then I did work on my campfire crochet blanket, and I got a block done. This block is kind of unique. I don't have any idea which one's the right side. They look about the same to me. This block is unique because the colorway for this is called Slow Burn. This was a color that she dyed up when she was originally formulating the campfire colorway, and she decided not to keep it. So if you have a campfire colorway, or color story, you won't see this exact colorway in it anymore. But I had a ball of it and decided to use it for what is sort of my March block. I just was not feeling the March pattern. It just wasn't my favorite crochet pattern, so I actually pulled out an old one from January of 2024, and this pattern was January 2024 pattern. But it is, for the purposes of my blanket, it is my March block. And clearly I still need to weave in the ends. So I'll get around to that sooner or later. I haven't blocked it yet either. I had a little bit left over, not much. I'm making 14-inch blocks unblocked, and that's pretty well uses the whole skein. I have also been working on my fall fun blanket of knowledge. So I have some progress to show you. I really wanted to have this whole block done, or this whole strip done, sorry. And I don't, but I have a lot of it done. So that is my next strip. I have started to rearrange some of the colors and even some of the patterns. So this would have been August, September, October. This is the November pattern, but I think I might have used a different color. Yeah, it's the December yarn, the December colorway, but the November pattern. But it's all from the Fall Fun color story. So I am actually almost done. I think I need to do this garter stitch section and my contrast sash. And then I'll have that one done. So it's not nearly as caught up as I was hoping to get it, but it at least is, you know, a step in the right direction. And I have some notes. I made notes because I'm switching colors around and months around and patterns around. So I have re-planned this out. Like every time I pick it up, I think I change the color order. But I have some notes, so hopefully I can remember what I'm thinking to do. Gathering a lot of stuff. All right, and that is kind of all of my UFOs, just that. All of the other things that are not finished, I haven't worked on. I know I promised, I said I would work on my sister's wedding veil, but I didn't. So there's still no progress to show on that. And I may have to show it next month whether I work on it or not, just so y'all don't forget what it looks like. But I didn't work on that. I did work a few rows on my biased opinion wrap, but like maybe 5. Not enough to bother showing you. It doesn't really look any different. I haven't done anything with the sock tubes that I cranked last couple months. I just cranked them and stuck them in a bag, and when I need a quick thing to pick up and do, I'll put heels, toes, and cuffs on that. I haven't really worked on it though, so there's that. And I don't remember what other unfinished objects I have. My bubble socks, I haven't touched those either. That's another one I'm gonna have to pull out and just show here soon so y'all don't forget what it looks like. I'm seriously not sure what I'm gonna do with those bubble socks. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. I enjoy knitting it, but at some point I knit 2 socks at a time on 2 different circulars, and I got the socks turned around, and so things are wonky. I'm not in the same place on both socks, and I couldn't figure out where I was in the pattern, and I think I'm in a different spot in the pattern on each sock. Anyway, I may need to frog a few rows of that and kind of start fresh. It's a little bit of a hot mess at the moment. Then let's see. So acquisitions, I acquired the yarn for my hat. I bought this from Michael's, and the yarn that I am turning into I-cord, which I already showed you. And then I bought a few different balls of cotton yarn for different purposes, and then didn't use any of it. Go figure. So when I was working on my 18 count egg basket, I was running out of yarn, and so I bought these 2 thinking I would work them in, but then I decided not to. So I have some extra cotton yarn, and then my sister wanted the blue hat like this, and so I bought this thinking I would make a hat out of it, and I did actually try, and I didn't like the way it was coming out, so I decided to just buy this same exact yarn in blue instead. But I did get some cotton yarn, but what I really am excited about in terms of acquisitions are my crochet hooks, because I have loved the Mellow set that I bought at the Yellow Rose Fiber Festival last year. And some of my crochet hooks are in projects, but I really, really love these hooks. They are absolutely my favorite. The handle is it's thicker than average, but not huge. And I love this little thumb depression. And the points are the kind of hook points that I like. Like, I like the pointy top, and then I like the way that the hook is. I don't like I think it's the boy hooks. I don't like the way the boy hooks are rounded. I never can get a hold of the yarn. These are like the Bates style hooks, and they're sharp and flat in the hook, and that's what I like. So I love these, and I was using my J hook to crochet a lot of those float totes by Knitty Natty, and I kept dropping it. And of course, eventually, if you drop a hook where the handle is metal and the hook is or the handle is wood and the hook is metal, you are going to cause them to separate. And so that's what happened. The J hook and the handle separated, and I gave it to my husband and I asked him if he could glue it back together, and he was like, sure. And I told him, you know, you have to be careful because there's a thumb depression, so the hook has to go just so. Well, he said that the super glue he used set much faster than he expected, and as soon as he put it in, he could not twist it to go in the right place like he thought he could. Well, okay, that was not great, but it was probably still usable. But then he had the idea to use his vice grips to twist it or loosen it and reset it, and the vice grips tore up the metal on the hook, and so then it was not usable at all. So for a whole month, I went back and forth on what I wanted to do. I really like those hooks. I thought about just buying a whole nother set, which I could do. I looked on eBay to see if anybody was maybe selling just a random J hook. I contacted Knit Pro to see if they had single hooks that I could get to replace one, which they did not. They don't have them at all anymore. They were a special Mother's Day thing last year, and they're like, unless you can find them being sold somewhere else, we don't have any more. So finally, what I wound up doing was trying something new. So, because I like the Knit Pro stuff, I decided to try their interchangeable crochet hook set. And that is what I bought, and I've used it several times, and I really like it. So I bought the chunky version because it had the J hook, which is what I'm missing. And it comes with the handle and scissors, and this is like a grippy so that you can make sure you tighten the hooks onto the handle, and some stitch markers and a measuring tape. I don't think I've used anything except the crochet hook out of here, but I was a little worried that the hooks would come undone, but I made that 18 count egg basket with doubled up cotton yarn with my J hook, and it held up just fine. I think it came unscrewed maybe the first once early on, and then I just tightened it a little tighter, and it worked great. So far, I really liked these. In fact, I liked them so much that I decided to go ahead and buy the regular size set as well, because you can never have too many hooks and things. And the handle and the hook are currently on a project, so I've used it once, and I really, really like it. Again, I haven't had really any trouble with the hooks coming off the handle. It's been fine. And one nice thing about these too is I can buy an extra handle if I want. That way I can have more than one hook out at the same time if I need to. The gray handle and the brown handle are interchangeable. Like, all the hooks can go on any hooks. Like, I can use this handle on these hooks or this handle on these hooks. It doesn't matter. They work either way. But yeah, so I really like these, and these are sort of like a belated Christmas present. So if you don't know, for Christmas my husband bought me an InstaPro 360 camera for my YouTube channel, and I was really excited, and I used it several times, and there was nothing wrong with the camera. The camera worked the way it was designed to work. It just didn't do some of the things that I need. The main thing that it didn't do that I need is it was very blurry when I was close up. So when I'm doing like the Blanket of Knowledge videos or any kind of tutorial video, and I'm trying to shoot my hands just, 12 inches from the camera, no matter what I did, it was blurry. I tried all kinds of things to fix that, and in the end, it just wasn't going to happen. So then we thought we would just return it. Well, it turns out we only had 15 days to return it, which means that when I opened it on Christmas Day, it was already not returnable because my husband bought it on sale Black Friday. So in the end, we wound up selling it on eBay. We didn't get all of our money back, but we got most of our money back, and this was my replacement Christmas present. So I am a happy camper. I am just using my good old trusty cell phone to film these videos now, and really I'm pretty happy with the way that comes out most of the time. I do know that there are some audio issues. A microphone is on the list of things I want to do to help upgrade my channel, so bear with me. I know you can probably hear my ceiling fan and my dishwasher and everything else going on, and then probably not hear me terribly well. But a microphone is on the list of things I want to do for the channel soon. So yeah, so those are my acquisitions, and as always, I have not forgotten you, and I have a lucky duck winner. So last month I had 3 balls of Hot Springs Fiber Company yarn, 3 full skeins, and then 3 mini skeins that all came from the Full Bloom colorway to give away, and a project bag and some stitch markers and stickers I think that came from Hot Springs Fiber Company also. I bought the project bag for you guys. But that was our giveaway, and in fact I think I have it sitting around me somewhere. Ah, it's over there. I'll show it to you. Hold on. All right, here. So this is the prize from episode 37. Beautiful, beautiful spring colors. And there's the green colors on the bottom, and you can see the project bag underneath. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. And I have a winner. So let's get it picked. So congratulations, She Can Survive. You are our lucky duck for the episode 37 shareable. Give us an email with your contact information to the channel email, which will be in the description box down below, and I will get this mailed out to you just as soon as I can. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it and make something beautiful. Let's see, and I do have something to give away this month. Let me find it. It's in my piles down here around my feet. Ah, here we go. So this is my giveaway for this month, and I'll show you what I've got to give away. I have this cute little drawstring bag. It came from Hot Springs Fiber Company. Just a nice little bag. And I have 2 hanks of this beautiful alpaca lace from Cascade Yarns. This is a discontinued yarn. They don't make it anymore, but it is really lovely. It is really soft. There are 50 grams in each hank, and each hank has 437 yards. So there's lots, 900 yards in these 2 hanks. And I do have an idea on how to use this to give you as well. So several years ago, I was making some patterns by Laura Nelkin called the Casio collar. And I think I made 4 or 5 or 6. I made several of them. And I bought kits from Laura Nelkin's website, because I just liked the bead mixes that she had and the yarn that she had, and at the time I didn't want to try to sub anything out. I just wanted to make them. I gave them as Mother's Day presents to my moms. But because I bought several kits, I had several pattern codes for a free pattern that I only needed 1, because I only need 1 pattern. So I saved that pattern code, and I saved the little tin that the stuff came in, and I have this pattern to share with one of you lucky ducks. So in the little tin is the code for the pattern. So this has the little Ravelry code to get the pattern. So it'll be a free copy of the pattern. And then I have my own bead mix that I picked out. And you can use this yarn to make the necklace. And then I have a tool for beading that I included as well. So the only thing it doesn't have is the knitting needles. You'll need to provide your own knitting needles. But if you want to make the Casio collar, this is everything you'll need except knitting needles to do it. Now again, this is not the original Laura Nelkin yarn or beads. This is a kit that I put together with things that I have left over from other projects. But it is her pattern, and that will be your free copy of that. So if you choose not to make that necklace, that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. Yarn is so very versatile. You can do what you want with it. Once it's yours, it's yours. But I did offer that as a suggestion on one way to use some of that lace yarn. You won't need very much of it, maybe 5 or 10 grams. It won't take a lot. But this is what I am giving away to one lucky duck, sharing with you guys for episode 38. So if you would like to give this yarn a home and acquire this pattern, then please drop a comment in the comment section down below. You can say anything you want. Everyone who comments automatically gets entered in our drawings. I love it when you guys comment. I love to interact with you guys online. So drop something down there. Say something to me. Say hi. Say whatever you want. And next month we will see who gets to be the lucky duck for this prize. All right, let's see. So what's Loomin? What is coming up? So I did mention that I have some plans to make possibly another gumball dream catcher, my Sweet Dreams project. When I was making that project, I had bought a wreath frame for it, and it came with 2. So I have an extra wreath frame, and I kept enough gumballs to do it. So I have drilled gumballs, and then I used some recycled yarn that had been given to the library for our yarn club. Yarn at our library yarn club is free for anyone who wants to use it. So I pulled this out of the bin, and there were 4 balls of it. I used slightly less than 2 to make the original dream catcher, and I bought some feathers from Walmart to go on the bottom. But I have everything I need except feathers. I'd have to get more feathers to make another one, and I'm kind of contemplating doing that. I'm not sure if I want to still use gumballs. I'm thinking about seeing if I can find some really big wooden beads and painting them, just because I noticed some of the gumballs are getting a little, let's see if one of them is, well, these are actually all have held up pretty well. It could be because they're in plastic. But on the one that I did before, some of the gumballs were starting to look funky. Like their color was going away and they had little white speckles on them. So I don't know how long term the gumballs will hold up. So I thought about maybe replacing the pattern with wooden beads, and maybe even writing it up and putting it on Ravelry with some of my other pattern designs. I've never written a crochet pattern before, so that would be my first crochet design. But I don't even know if anyone would be interested in making a dream catcher with giant beads. That would be a great thing to let me know if that would be a thing you would be interested in having, because if nobody's interested in it, there's not really any reason to write the pattern up. But if somebody else might be interested in doing that, I could do that. So that's one thing I might be doing in the future. I'm definitely going to be making more butterflies. This was fun and fast, and I enjoyed the look of it. And I want one for my books as well. So even though I've told Denise she can have this one, I need one. And I have lots more of these beads and lots more of this yarn. This yarn I didn't mention before is Rich Mountain Fiber Company yarn, called Birds of a Feather, I think. I know it's Rich Mountain Fiber Company. I think the colorway is Birds of a Feather. So that's a plan. Plan to make my rug out of my I-cord that I've been making. This is actually a lot of fun to do. It's so easy and mindless just to sit there with the I-cordy tool and make I-cord while you watch a movie with your niece or nephew or whoever. So that's been fun. But I do plan to weave another rug, which is good because my poor loom has been sitting in limbo ever since I took the first rug off of it almost 3 weeks ago. Let's see, last Friday I was out of town, so I was not at weaving. The Friday before I was there, but at that time I still didn't know what I wanted to do with the rug. I have plenty of warp on the loom still, so I want to do something. I don't want to waste all that warp. But I just hadn't decided. We thought about maybe using old blue jeans to make a rug, but I only have 1 pair of old blue jeans around the house. I would have to hunt down or buy more old blue jeans, and then I'd have to cut them up, and I don't know. It was a good idea, but it just wasn't quite what I had in mind for my rug. So I'm much happier with this plan. So let's see. Plan for my rug, and then the Arkansas Yarn Crawl is happening in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and other parts of Arkansas. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think the shop in Mena, the Rich Mountain Fiber Company, is going to participate. I'm sure Knit Unto Others is probably going to participate I think they're in Arkadelphia. There's several others. Those are just the ones I'm the most familiar with because they're the ones I've been to before. But go check out the Arkansas Yarn Crawl. You can get information about it probably on the Arkansas Yarn Company website. I know they have a Facebook page and an Instagram. If you are in Arkansas and you want to participate in that, that is going to be July, hold on, I wrote down the dates, 18th through 26th, that's going to be going on. And they have a little postcard, and you get your postcard signed at every shop that you visit, and then you mail that in when you're done, and they put it in a drawing for a prize. There's a game where you hunt down a sheep. There's like a sheep hidden in each one of the participating shops, so you got to find your sheep. And I think all the shops are giving away prizes. They usually do that every year. So that's going to be tons of fun. Hot Springs Fiber Company's in it. Yeah, go check them out if you are around Arkansas for then. And if you are specifically in Hot Springs for the very first weekend of the crawl, I'm not able to stay the whole week of the crawl like I've done the last couple of years, but I will be there July 17th through the 19th. 17th, 18th, and 19th is a short trip. So I will be there that first weekend of the crawl. So if you guys are in Hot Springs sitting there, stop by, come say hi to me. I'd love to meet you. And yeah, let's see, is there anything else going on? The Read and Crochet Along, if you aren't already tired of me talking about it, come join that. It's super fun, super laid back. You still have tons of time to do part 1. Part 2 won't even be out till the 3rd Friday in August. So you have lots and lots of time to jump in and not miss a thing with that. So yeah. And I do plan to make another one of these in blue, and I need to get going on that wedding veil, and I need to get my blanket of knowledge caught up, so I'm gonna be working on that. But yeah, I think that's enough to be going on about. I will see you guys back here August 1st. Yeah, this is July 1st, so August 1st for my next Created to Create episode. And until then, you guys, make today beautiful. I'm going to close this in prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the time that you've allowed me to spend with my sisters and my niece and my nephews. Thank you so much for the beautiful weather that we've had and all the rain you've blessed us with. It's been such a wet June. It's been unusual, but it's been a blessing as well, and I thank you, Lord, for that. I pray for those who are going through hard times right now, Lord. I know that my grandfather is mourning the loss of my great uncle, his brother, and I know that there are people all around us that are enjoying your blessings while there's others who are needing your comfort. So I pray that you will be with everybody in their space and time and meet their needs and show them your love in the way that they need. And in your Son Jesus' most precious name that I pray. Amen.